think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it's like what other people are doing.
Me too type ideas.
Yeah,
slight
iterations on a theme, and it's because it's kind of mentally easier to reason by analogy rather than from first principles. But by first principles is kind of a physics way of looking at the world, and what that really means is you kind of boil things down to the most fundamental truths, and say, okay, what are we sure is true, or as sure as possible is true, and then reason up from there. That takes a lot more mental energy.
Give me an example of that. Like, what's one thing that you've done that on that you feel has worked for you?
Sure. So somebody could say, in fact, people do, that battery packs are really expensive, and that's just the way they'll always be, because that's the way they've been in the past. You're like, well, no, that's pretty dumb, because if you applied that reasoning to anything new, then you wouldn't be able to ever get to that new thing.
Right.
It's like you can't say, horses. Nobody wants a car because horses are great and we're used to them and they can eat grass. And there's lots of grass all over the place, and there's no gasoline that people can buy, so people are never gonna get cars.
Right.
People did say that. And for batteries, they would say, it's going to cost. Historically, it's cost $600 per kilowatt hour, and so it's not going to be much better than that in the future. And you say, no, okay, well, what are the batteries made of? So first principles would be to say, okay, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of the material constituents? So you can say, okay, it's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. So break that down on a material basis and say, okay, what if we bought that in the London Metal Exchange? What would each of those things cost? Like, it's like $80 per kilowatt hour. So clearly, you just need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper.
So I wanted to play this video, guys. What's up? It's your boy, Jim Rat Crypto. We're coming at you live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. This one is a little bit different than our usual episode. GRC's been digging and trying to ask people that are smart, very smart, what's going on. And they come back to one simple answer, Sam. There is no answer. It already exists. We've been doing this forever, Sam. People have been doing this. GRC just has not been aware of it until I was like, you know what? I want to get into this first principles concept really bad, because Sam, I think this is where innovation lies. I don't think you can. There's an Albert Einstein quote below in the and it says in the description, it says, we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them, Sam. And Jack Levin talks about the first principles of crypto a lot. And like, I ask him a lot of questions and he generally kind of mentions that. I look at Elon 10 years ago talking about these principles, guys that have really continued to innovate. And we're going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin, a little bit about Zen crypto, Jack Levin, thefaircrypto.org. And we're going to talk about the first principles of crypto and the first principle techniques when it comes to innovation in general, right? Like, that's what we're kind of learning about. And if you're new in here and you hear these words, first principles, don't just let it slide by. Don't let it slide. What the hell does that mean? Why are we talking about it? Cryptocurrency, the first principles of crypto, guys. Let's get into it. Sam's here. He's jacked up. It's Sunday. I went to a wedding last night. It was freaking crazy. Let's go, guys.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
The idea of principles first is something that Elon has been talking about for, well over 10 years.
Is this normal info to you? See, I need to know what you know too, because I have no clue. This is like awe-inspiring to me this morning as a thought process, not like money or anything. Just like I'm learning, Sam. I want to know what you know about Elon. The first principles. What have you seen? What have you heard? What do I not know? Is this just classic innovation tech? What am I seeing? What do you think about it?
I think it's something that's very, very valuable for problem solving. And then when you were doing your monologue, nice job, by the way, and we're watching this interview, I'm trying to think of a framework that people can utilize so that they can take this abstract idea of principles first and take those 1, 2, 3 steps and apply it to their life. So one way that you could use, because that's going to be the most practical for people, like how do people take this idea of principles first and then create something that is tangible, these 3 steps, and apply it to their life, right? To improve things.
Anything.
Whether it's
YouTube channel.
right?
Like I don't accept money. I don't shill because I know I have to provide value, and I know that's how my channel will get better in the future, whether it pays off now or not. That's how I do it, and I know in my heart that's how I have to do it properly. Maybe I could do things better here and there. That doesn't make, but I know the value structure. I know I can't siphon money from my followers. I know I cannot siphon value from other humans, or I will die like every other idea in this world.
So I want to walk through an example of a relationship doing this, and then I'm actually literally working on an idea to do this instead of paid ads, because I think that paid ads are overpriced relative to what you get. Even though they're profitable, I think it can be 3 to 20x more profitable by the strategy that I'm implementing using this thinking. So you can use a principles first way of thinking. Think of like the truth of something, right? So if you were to say a relationship, for example, and then we can use more of like a concrete example for people, a relationship, right? Say you and your spouse, girlfriend, whatever. What is something that's true about that? Well, if it is true that you love the person and that you want to grow with the person and you want to like evolve, right? Then you have something that is true. You love the person, you want to grow with the person, and you want to evolve, right? Given that those 3 things are true, if they're not true, then go deeper to understand what is your truth. Because if your truth is that you don't love the person, you don't actually want to be with them, you'd rather be doing something else, then you just got your answer. Get the fuck out of the relationship, right? But given that those are the answers, you love the person, you want to grow with the person, and you want to evolve, those are the truths. Okay, cool. Now, when you understand the truth, the other BS around your emotions and your ego don't fucking matter. What does matter? The 3 truths. That's one way to think about principle based. Another could be the example of like what Elon brought up, right? Say you want to create a widget of some sort, something, right? You want to create, a device of some sort. Let's just call this stapler, right? So you've got plastic sheathing, you've got staples, and then you have the mechanism on the inside here, right? So you're like, okay, this stapler, and the manufacturer's trying to sell it to you for $1.10, we'll say. Well, how much is something like this? Well, you're like, okay, well, this stainless steel, this is super cheap stainless steel. The, ounce and a half of steel would actually only cost, 1.6 cents. The plastic sheathing here, well, the resin, the plastic right here to get this much, which is like, 3/4 of an ounce costs this much, right? And then you add them all up and you're like, wait a second. So the cost of the materials in here cost 4.5 cents, and they're selling it to me for $1.50, right? And then that's how he literally did a rocket, right? A rocket's $65 million. So he's like, okay, well, how much is space grade aluminum? Well, it's this much per price. Okay. Well, how much is titanium?
And that makes sense. Everything you're saying, I know you're about to go through this, but how do you get to the point as a male or as a person, females? I just said male. We're talking about Elon, but as a person, emotional fitness. Period. You cannot. I can take notes now. I have notebook there, notebook, whiteboard here, notebook there. Okay. So, and I don't use them all day long, but I use them for 3 different things. And I'll tell you what, there was 26 years of my life where that was impossible for me to do. Why? Because I had emotions roaring through my head that were absolute ignorance, absolute disgusting, scum, low-level thinking, disgusting, piece of crap, worthless thinking that I carried with me for 25 fucking years. And I got rid of it. And, it was tough, but I had a transitionary moment in my life where I started changing completely. It wasn't like, it was more about me working and being efficient. And, now I'm at a place where the first principles mean something to me, but I can promise you, Sam, if I did not quit my job and do whatever the hell I was doing, switch it up, I would never even care about this flipping topic, because how could you? You see everyone out there, Sam, that's kind of my side of things. I see an emotional mess of humans. And then one dude with a freaking decent regimen comes in and he can just blow through everyone. Like, it's like people are like, you're a fucking machine. I'm like, really? A machine? You think this is machine work? You don't know machine. I've seen people make me look stupid all day long. I look like, in my head, I put I'm hurting, man. I want more. And they're like, you're really punching hard. And then you see it in your head, Sam, those first principles kind of coming through. Oh, I see. You actually have to work. There has to be.
But then what other people correct. So I think of principles-based thinking as like emotional intelligence or emotionally fit, right? It's, you kind of think of it for thinking for yourself, right? So the more you can flex, the more you can exercise thinking for yourself and not regurgitating what somebody else says. And this writing, Jordan Peterson talks about this, writing your thoughts down, writing them with excruciating detail about your thoughts, how you feel, your frustrations, your goals, your whatever it is
even something simple like this. I was anxious for the wedding. So I had 3 pieces of material that I didn't have, was socks, shoes, and a belt that I liked. And I said, if I write this down, it'll come true faster. And I got the shit. I just went to the store and grabbed it. But I'm telling you, I struggle with this like my whole life.
And like I in the front of, or like on that front, if somebody's like trying to get me to do something, like there has to be, it's not gonna happen unless like I'm just not going to do that kind of stuff. And there has to be a mechanism to go through and force yourself to actually go through and do that. But to get back to the principles based thinking, if you want to improve your emotional fitness, if you want to exercise your ability to think for yourself, one of the things that I've been doing now for probably 3 years or 3.5 years, and I probably have told GRC to do this before, is journal. Write down your thoughts, write down your goals, write down what you want with excruciating detail. You don't know what to write? Great. Talk about what you want. Talk about how fucking awesome you are.
You just write. It's work.
Just write.
Just write. Just by writing, just by showing up to the gym and talking to the coffee girl and doing 100 push-ups, sometimes it's just enough at that day. But if you never went and you never said hi to the coffee girl and you never did the push-ups, maybe you just didn't get what you needed that day. but it's better than doing nothing. But you have to know what you want. Like, you don't have to work out. It has to be like in whatever direction you want. But the first principles, like this whole idea of innovation, like this is what I need. I have no guidance when it comes to like this type of thinking other than like what I hear, right? So now there's a principle. There's people wrote about this. There's writing. There's Elon. I know that exists now. I didn't even know it existed really. And I heard Jack's the one who came in and started screaming it. Jack Levin screaming it. He said, no. I see mediocrity everywhere. Everything here is mediocre. And in 34 days, he came out with the product that has burned, 3,000 Ethereum in 40 days.
Let's use Zen as an example, right? Yes. If you apply the principles that Elon's talking about, right? How does this apply to crypto, right? GRC, you've got a list that you have posted on Twitter the other day. What are the principles of crypto? Like if you were trying to design a jet and you understand steel, copper, gold.
All right, we'll do it right now, me and you. We'll come to a conclusion on 5.
Cool. Right? I'll pull up a drawing.
I know the 5 that people use. So it would be like self-custody, transparency, immutability, consensus of some sort. I don't know how they verbalize that. And then permissionless would be one. So all of the like DeFi things, but everyone has their own rules, I guess. You can make your own rules, right? Like it's kind of just a thought process. So really,
you're correct. Yes, you're right.
So basically, Richard Hart says centralized ownership is the future. And that's on his first principles, maybe. Maybe he thinks all the best businesses that ever existed had that kind of play, and that's why it's important. But I don't, that's near here nor there. I think it's just important to talk about these things. And guys, make sure you share this out. Hit the like. Smash all the buttons. Hey, RG's winner interview with Crypto Profeta. He is very honest. Yeah, we all know Crypto Profeta. We love Crypto Profeta here. If he wants to come on the show, he can certainly come on the show. It'd probably be better to do a one-on-one like later night because he's going to want to get into some dirty little details for like 3 hours.
What's another principle?
Yeah, immutable code. We got immutability would be one. Transparency would be one.
Ooh, yeah.
It has to be transparent. It has to be, Sam. Come on. Like in what world? And we'll talk about that one. This transparency. So let me think about myself. Trust, transparency, immutability would have to be one. And then however they verbalize the consensus code. Like, I don't know how they, I guess
supply and stuff. The supply of it.
Yeah, I don't know the exact words they would use in the chat. What do they use for that? Like, is that decentralization basically?
Do you want to say tokenomics?
Well, no, because tokenomics just describes.
Yeah, but that's also important too, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't that be more of a description rather than?
Yeah, potentially. But we could use this to describe what you just mentioned, or we could call it something else if we want.
Oh, Sam, permissionless.
Oh, yes.
Permissionless is the one that I like because think about it. What does that mean, Sam, and to you, if I say that? Like permissionless.
It means that anybody can be involved. Permissionless is why Uniswap is so incredible.
Thank you. Talk about that for 1 second. Why is Uniswap so incredible? Maybe we'll do a little short piece right here. Sam, why do you think Uniswap is so incredible? And I'll tell you why I think that's so incredible. And it comes right into the first principles.
Because when you think about anything, you want to run for government, you're like some subclass of the population, and everybody is. You can call yourself the subpopulation of fucking people with shaved heads and beards, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, right? There's always been somebody at the gate saying, nope, you're a little bitch, you can't do this, right? And this is extremely evident throughout history in every single market, right? You can look at the music industry, right? Who controlled that? The giant labels. Doesn't matter if you're not going to do what I tell you to do, you ain't getting time, right? Who used to control the narrative in the United States? 5 fucking white dudes, right? They controlled mainstream media across the board before the internet. They controlled what was said, right? All of this has changed. The financial markets. Not everybody has access to the financial markets. when you think of permissionless, I don't need to ask anybody for fucking anything. I do what I want when I want. And that is extremely important, bro.
And that's the big one, though. Like our government, this could be 20 years before our government decides to let anything slide. It could be. It could be like we all made our money, and then there was 10 years of pure CBDC, and then they found out that didn't work, and then blah, 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 blah. Whatever the story is, I don't think that'll be the case. They will have to do some professional work at some point. Like someone's going to have to step in. And I think there's young guys around 28 right now. There's a big, the average age in the United States is 28 right now. I'm 28 years old. I heard somebody told me that yesterday. Does that make any sense?
Is that, I don't know if it's accurate, but
I know, but thought it was funny. Like, let's say the median, but he said the average. The guy said the average, but who cares? It's not the point. I was thinking, hey, there is a lot of guys that are my age, Sam. We did not get completely wrecked by the iPhone in our mental yet, because it took me till I was like 14 to get my hands on that baby. 15. I was already prefrontal lobe was already developed as a minor. Like, I already had those steps, and I was playing outside with my friends all the time. That's all I was doing, right? So those guys react a little bit different, and everyone ahead of them, right? Like older than them, because they didn't have toxic, horrible marketing in their face 24/7. My sister, just for an example, she don't let her kids be playing on that stuff, nothing other than like a TV show every once in a while about some good message. But like she will not with the iPad. She's like, they're too smart, they're too savvy. I can't do it. I totally agree. I couldn't agree with her more. I couldn't agree with her more on that one, because it's just like marketing. If kids in marketing, disgusting how they do that. Anyway, that's not first principles, blah, 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 blah. No admins, permissionless, decentralized, transparent, immutable code. And the ones that Jack wrote on his website, I just pulled them up, is the first principles of crypto, Zen, Jack Levin, self-custody, transparency, immutability, trust through consensus, and permissionless value exchange.
Is this where you're reading from that I pulled up on the screen, or did I pull up the wrong one?
No, this is what we're getting into next, though. Okay, so this is going to round everything together. So guys, we talked through the first principles. And if you don't understand the first principles, that's okay. It's the kind of a concept, like understanding decentralization doesn't take 10 minutes. Understanding centralized ownership and decentralized finance takes time, because the verbiage is different for everything. So you have to understand. You know how I always look at Sam and I say, tell me what you're thinking, because I never got that. Whatever you got right there where you were thinking, he's like, Elon, oh, we talked about this. I'd love to know your perspective. I missed that. I'm asking because I want to know what guys like Sam are into, but you can't think about everything you're into every 5 seconds that you're talking to someone. I think it's critical that these are nuanced, very open-ended gray area, but everyone in their heart kind of knows the first principles. I think the first principles is part of a human being to a degree. And you have to listen to what GRC just said. What do you say? He's like, I want to hear what Sam has to say about this, because his perspective is different than mine. You have to let go of the judging that person or that idea. You can understand what they're saying, and you can still think they're a fucking moron because they don't know what the F they're fucking talking about. But let's say you say dating girls is so dumb. You should never date a girl. Let's say that was what you said in the morning. And I was just like, Sam's a smart dude. I just don't agree. He's just being stupid about this. But then I think, why is Sam thinking like that? I can actually gain information about human life by thinking, why is Sam thinking triggered? What's wrong with him right now? That's not like him. Let me think about it. Wait, did that just happen in his life? Is this another stress reaction that people have, a tick that maybe he can't see? Maybe I should discuss it with him. Maybe I should show him, because it would make him happy to know he has a blind spot. Something, along these lines, that I wish every guy in my life was staring me down the throat like that all day long. But you can't find guys like that. It's just, you need to find them and keep them, but it's easy to ruin a relationship with a guy too. Like, how easy is it to make one deal? But me and Sam don't do that, because I don't want to do it yet. Period. End of story. I'm not ready. And I don't want to not be friends with him anymore, because I'm not ready for something. And I know myself, and I'm like, this is cool for both of us, I think. But anyway, let's get into this right now. That was cool. So this is the Zen white paper, page 11. So page 11, the cause of it all. I skipped through all the details because this is the only part I wanted to read. The cause of it all. And I'm just going to read this. This is a very good article. It's going to go through the first principles, how crypto got started, Bitcoin, Satoshi's vision, and then Zen. So, sorry. So the crypto world has come a long way since Timothy May in 1988 wrote the Crypto Anarchist Manifesto. I will be reading that, where he introduced the basic principles of crypto anarchism, encrypted exchanges, ensuring total anonymity, and total freedom of speech and total freedom of trade. Guys, that's what we just talked about. So somebody in 1988, they were transferring digitally back then, was thinking we can do this anonymity thing. This could be legit. Okay, fast forward 30 years later, Sam. 30. That's a long. I don't want 30, Sam. I don't want another 30, Sam. I'm not getting another 30 until good shit comes out. No way. Let's go, guys. All this stuff, we're going hard. This cycle, it's over.
Let's I want to tell people what I have a feeling there's probably people who don't know what anarchist is or anarchism is,
Including me. I was assuming I knew.
So anarchism is a political philosophy and movement that advocates for the creation of a society without a state or other centralized forms of power. Anarchists believe in the power of voluntary cooperation, mutual aid, and reject the idea that individuals should be subject to the will of a ruler or authority. This philosophy is often associated with the idea of creating a society based on the principles of freedom, equality, and solidarity. And I think that a lot of people can relate to this with all the tyranny that is taking place in the world today, and makes people even more relatable to crypto and this community as a whole. If you have the information, you're an intelligent person, you can make that decision. You don't need me to tell you what to do. You don't need GRC what to tell you. You don't need mom, your sister, your fucking wife. Use this. Make the decision for yourself. Sorry to interrupt there if you want to get back into this.
I got doctors for you too. I saw that private. I got like 4 doctors.
Oh, dude.
Love to quit their fucking jobs, dude.
They're starting one, and it starts on the 1st of this coming year, and I might be able to franchise one and start it here.
What did we name the term for, like, the great unemployment or something? The great
the great resignation.
It's happening with the doctors too. It's a little later on the doctors because they get paid a lot, but now they're working 24/7 and they're getting rugged by inflation. So they're not getting what they wanted. They're not doing what they wanted. And then somebody with a specialized clinic and $250,000 a year and a flexible schedule, that will win.
Connect me with one of those doctors.
I will, dude. I will. I'm from a very like uppity area. A lot of my buddies that played lax with me and stuff, they all, like, a couple of them went off and did, and dude, I met a girl at the wedding last night, and she's going to come on the show. She got in the last interview with Coinbase, but she works for non-custodial wallets in general. So we were talking all last night. She knows people. She lives in LA, and she was in, and so she'll be coming on the show at some point. And she's a friend from school, like when I was young, but she knows that she's with it, like with it about all this stuff. She understands all the, I sent her internet money links. I said, check this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she was like, I want to know who you know. And I was like, I want to know who you freaking know. Like, and I was just like, yeah. So, but then I was like, she's like, are you a crazy Mexican? No, I was like, no. I was like, I'm not allowed to be. But let's go back to this and read it real quick. So in 2008, guys, remember 30 years after 1988, when Timothy May wrote the Crypto Anarchist Manifesto, you guys can all read between the lines about what he was trying to get to at that a little bit. Like, he was trying to get to that anonymity, freedom, and software could be used here for good. And then 30 years later, Satoshi Nakamoto wrote Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic digital cash system, and for the first time introduced a system that would allow a pure peer-to-peer version of electronic cash to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Guys, that's Bitcoin. We know Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up 68 million%. Sam, Bitcoin went from an idea, a piece of software, and it went up 68 million% from a penny. Okay, that exists. That happened. Undeniable. 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 It worked, but problems happen. Tech, the first MP3 player was not always the MP3 player, but the first MP3 player is not hosted on the internet forever as well. So there's differences, there's nuance there. So, okay, so, but just like the internet has clustered into centralization by tech giants, we can send the trend within DLTs not escaping human nature of corruption and deceit. We see governments wanting to introduce their own version, so-called CBDCs. That's happening right the flip now. Now. It's happening now. You can't, dude, if only people understood how much I knew about all chain swap and all chain bridge and chain hop. I use them more than any human I know. They pull liquidity on those coins, like on one side of whatever, like it's nothing. And there's people that can't take their money off Binance. Like for real. Like there's definitely like Binance does have centralized custody of like certain people, illegal stuff, like whatever they team. So there's problems there too. But what do you think about that, Sam? The CBDCs, the corporation, tech giants coming into crypto. You have so much experience in like that whole realm. However, that all like, what do you see? What do you think could happen? Could it be decent for all of us? Could it be wrecked for all of us? Like, do you think the CBDC is going to ruin the world? Do you think big corporations are going to hold on to this as long as possible? What do you see?
Well, I think that it's just inevitable that when somebody has power, when somebody has money, when somebody has influence, they want to hold on to that, right? So you have these centralized governments, or you have the Federal Reserve that's owned by private individuals, not the government, that are controlling money, then they want to control that and they don't want to lose that. And when you switch to a principles-based currency that we described earlier, immutable code, transparent, no admin keys, decentralized, et cetera, they lose that power. They don't have that power anymore. So when you think about a CBDC, it is a desperate grasp for people who have power to maintain and that control over the peasants, over the common folks out there.
Do you think Bitcoin gives them enough hold? Because we're talking about small liquidity pool here compared to what they got. Could they just buy everything and then people wouldn't like it anymore, or it would just everyone would like it? Or
they still won't have control over it.
But if you have the majority, do you have control?
Well, I'm thinking about control in the sense of the supply, right?
So you mean like legit, like, and there's transparency there, which they don't like. So I can't imagine that happening.
And they don't have control over where you spend your, right? Think about the control as a broader thing here, right? Control over the price manipulation, yes, right? BTC, just buy it all up and you're good. But you can't tell me that I can't send money to GRC in Russia because I chose to do business with him, right? They can do that now. They can't tell me that my shit is going to be worth less next year because they're literally 10xing the supply. They can do that with CBDs. They can't tell me to eat fucking garbage vegan food with that. They can do that with CBDCs, right? So they can't, they will.
And they can shut off your bank account if you smoke marijuana or whatever it is they don't like at the time. You know, they can say that the devil's lettuce is back and it's making people have COVID-19 and we need shots immediately. And if your son or family member smokes marijuana, you send them directly to this institution because you know what? It's going to get ugly and everyone's going to die. And then my mom's going to be like, Sonny boy, I hope that before Christmas you go to the doctor's office and you get jabbed it up. And I'm like, oh no, you piece of crap. And then everyone's like, Scotsmania. But anyway, it all comes back to first principles. No, but seriously, guys, this is a huge deal. Me and Sam are here with 55 live viewers, not our biggest audience, right? It's Sunday, but this is the meat and taters here, and it's happening now. And I see the new YouTubers popping up. Promise you, they don't know jackass. They don't know anything. They think the bull market's coming, and it's okay. They can learn just like I did. But I've been here for 550 days straight. I haven't missed a beat. And these little nuanced topics, I'm just starting to get on top of, Sam. Think about that 500 days later. I can confidently talk about these more nuanced ideas. You think Mr. Crypto Nico is ready to go? I don't think these guys are really in it for you. And I think the first principles will shine through no matter what. If you use them in your life, they have to. Why have I given away more money this week than I've made? I don't fucking know. But I just have a feeling deep down that it's awesome. And I love helping and I love doing what I can. And I'm so fortunate in so many ways. And sometimes Christmas just gets your boy going. So, but I'm not doing it today. I gave it to Amish Kid last night, I think he won yesterday's giveaway. Amish Kid. Shout out to Amish Kid and Biceps in the chat. And hit the like button, guys. And make sure you hit the subscriber bell and you hit all. And then you'll be notified. I go 2 times a day during the week generally. Weekends, I try to not. But guys, I need you to hit the like. I need to start getting some of these metrics the way, I don't push it ever. I just want to talk all the time. But it is important and it's part of the journey. And I'm willing to do whatever. So let's hit them like buttons. And then let me just read the last 2 paragraphs of this and we'll round this idea out. So
and then we have some cool stuff to get into in this book.
Yep, then you're good to go.
And we have a message to listen to.
And I do want to talk about Zen. This is the Zen white paper, guys. And you guys do know I like Zen. Like and Zen had a crazy dip yesterday. I lost all my money and I'm scared. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, like these assets are new. They're infancy. 1 penny to $65,000. That's 665 million %. Okay. So just remember, like, I don't really care about like 20% like on $700. Like that's just not going to really kill me, hurt me, make me feel weird. People hit me up saying all sorts of crazy stuff about Zen. I'm a piece of crap and how I tell everyone to buy it. And you know what I say to them? It'd probably be the best move you ever made. Okay, just kidding. But seriously, I'm not trying to get anyone to buy anything. I'm not even aggressively doing anything. So please don't be doing that yourself. People hit me up with these 10-page ideas, and I'm like, you need to cut that idea list down to 1 sentence and figure out what the fuck you're talking about. Because it's like, it's a social, crypto is social at the end of the day. So let's see. The tech giants, we talked about the tech giants. We see corporations claiming to be pro-crypto, Kevin O'Leary, FTX, we already, Celsius, Terra Luna, but using every way possible to lure you into giving up your keys, Sam. The biggest thing in crypto is not your keys, not your coins. Self-custody wins every time. Even if you're not staked, it's just better because SBF will run away with your money and then everyone will like him after and they'll do it again. I promise you guys, this will all happen 100 times over, 100 times over. And people will do it over and over. They'll get sponsored again. They'll say, this is the biggest money I've ever seen. Let's go. Come on. You saw 15 million straight to O'Leary. So way to lure into giving up your keys. In doing so, violating the true first principles of crypto, both create filter bubbles of innovation. The L1 narrative emerged where multiple systems are competing to become the most fundamental and interoperable. Although there are local maximalist convictions, there is no widespread consensus as to which system that ultimately will prevail. And as long as that is the case, the necessity to go back to the roots of the first principles is inevitable. You see how Jack kind of works through that, like just like a pro. Like he's like, I got to go back to the basics ASAP because I don't think anyone did. I don't think anyone went back to the basics. I don't think, maybe Cardano and some guys that, been paying attention for sure. Zen goes back to the roots of consensus making systems and takes a carte blanche. What the fuck does that mean? Carte blanche? Come on, Jack. You just made me look like an idiot. Carte blanche. I don't know. CARTEBLANCHE. That's got to be some sort of French. That's vampire shit.
Carte blanche. Carte blanche.
Is that some sort of food?
Carte blanche is a French phrase that means blank paper or unconditional power. In English, the term is often used to refer to a situation in which someone is given complete freedom to do whatever they want without any restrictions or limitations. For example, a person who is given carte blanche to a blanc, or however it's said, to make a decision might have the authority to make any decision they see fit, how everybody should, without needing to consult anyone or anybody else. This phase is often used in a negative context to refer to the situation. Well, that doesn't matter, right? So basically, freedom for people.
Yeah, basically free reign, and it said, and it's, you say it carte, not carte, carte. Yeah, carte, like C-A-R-T. Yeah, carte blanche.
I see cartel because on my YouTube search, cartel happens quite often. I can't help it. I can't help it. You guys know I'm into that weird shit. Sam, read this last sentence and then I'm pulling it off. This one's you.
Okay. Pure innovation tends to always come from the people. The people, based on first principles. Wow, what a true statement there for that.
Yeah, dude, that's big time, man. Like I read this morning.
Always.
It opened my eyes a lot this morning, dude. Like a lot. Like that's why I wanted to do this show. I was like, this is important, and this is really. And I just the last thing I'm going to show Sam. I can't forget to do this, and then we can go until you're ready. And I want you to have all the time for this segment that you're going to do it for the last 20 minutes. But look at this page really quick, guys, because it's a beautiful page, and I'll drop the link. So it's Zen Crypto. What? Damn it! Sorry, I pressed something.
You're good.
So basically this is, I'm dropping the link now, guys. This is a beautiful website if you want to do some reading. Absolutely. And guys, I want to do some writing is what I want to do. I would love to spend an hour in the morning writing down stuff now. I think I know enough now where it's fun. So guys, basically what is Zen Crypto? It says what Zen Crypto is. So what is Zen?
Zoom in a little bit so people can see it a little easier.
And I'm just going to kind of defer to them to the page on this. Come on, you little shit.
Perfect. That works.
So there's Mr. Jack pulling cords for Google to make sure that the world doesn't explode. And imageshack.com. I'm not going to read everything. Zen, pronounced Zen, is a state of equilibrium and fairness between passing time and the number of people owning it. It's based on the principles that each of us is their own bank, able to mint our own tokens in a trustless way. It's kind of like a seed that is a generative principle of a tree, growing its own fruits. This is a very important aspect in the mindset of a sovereign individual. Ooh, you know, we love that talk. Sovereignty, individual who always chooses independence over entrenched interests. That would be me. I hate entrenched interests. I hate just non-detailed work. I hate poor leadership. I hate following people that aren't on their P's and Q's. And self-sovereignty is about taking your life into your own hands because no one else will care about you more than you. So popular in a centralized world of finance and often carried to the current cryptocurrency field. So we'll just read real quick. I'm going to just bust through this, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to. The first principles of crypto, unlike other tokens out there, Zen is based on the first principles initiated by Satoshi Nakamoto in his Bitcoin white paper, guys. And if you go to this page, you can read the white paper. You can get an idea for the differences. There's actually a page that says the difference between Zen and Bitcoin on here as well. So you can go on that. The second principles of crypto. The second principles of crypto, as designed by Nakamoto, is truth of consensus. That's kind of the one I was struggling with the most, like how they verbalize that one. I can trust you without having to share additional information with you because the underlying protocol is in charge of verifying all the information. Very interesting. If you want to know these details, guys, these are nice. It's a beautiful, well-written page. The third principles of crypto. The third principles is decentralization, where Zen achieves true mastery because there is no management team capable of changing the code. There is no admin keys to the smart contract. There's no pre-mint giving anyone the power to dump or manipulate. There's no address receiving part of the rewards. There's no initial or finite supply. And yet Zen achieves the broadest possible decentralization and disinflation effect as time passes. And Jack, frankly came up with this. He learned about crypto throughout the years. And I think when he decided to come out of product, he said 40 days. 40 days after he decided to, he sprung up the idea in his head. I'm sure he had ideas of some sort in his head. 40 days later, this comes to existence. 40 days later, there's $1 million in liquidity. 40 days later, there's 500,000 clicks to mint 1 VMU on Ethereum only. And Sam, the burn, like, have you looked at these burns, Sam, at all?
No, a lot of times I'll look at like volume instead of like looking at the burns.
Well, just real quick, because I know you'll like this page, and this was on my last thing to show. But look, Sam, if you go to zen.turbo, you can put in all your addresses. I don't want to scroll up to my addresses, but all the metrics. Actually, the addresses aren't on this page. All of the metrics, guys. You can see all of the mint terms. All of what's the GUI right now? 13. Okay, we see that. What is the biggest GUI burner? So let's say you see this number being like 500. Then you go directly down to this chart right here, Sam. What is GUI burned in the last 3 hours? 23% of the GUI burned in the last 3 hours is from Binance. And this is just for this is just for Ethereum. So, and then Tether, Uniswap V3, Seaport, CoinTool Batch Minter is the 5th in the entire world for Ethereum burn in the last 3 hours. And it's been out for frigging 2 weeks.
Wow. Right.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy because Sam, volume, all of these things matter. And Gate.io is what? Look at Zen's number 15 as well. Just the Zen minting, number 15 as well. So there's 47.66 ETH burned in the last 3 hours. And on the batch minter, we have roughly 182.75 ETH in the last 3 hours here.
And liquidity continues to climb. And
just dramatically.
Yep. And volume is steady and or increasing. Like it's just there's some stuff, there's something going on there, right? People want this. People want this clearly.
First principles. They want it. They want it, Sam. And I want you to get in now. I'm done. I want to hear what I know. Sam has a voice message from a friend and a section from a book. And he's going to preface all of that. I'm just going to use the bathroom, but I can hear you.
Yeah. So this is actually in regards to the show yesterday. Is there a way to make this so the whole Facebook thing doesn't come up when I pull this up?
If you just play it right here, we can just listen to it.
I don't think you'll be able to hear it.
It will. No, you will. Watch. Do it right now.
You hear this?
Hold on. So basically, Sam, what you do is add this. Oh, I'm going to add the screen, but I'm not going to switch the format. What the fuck? Does it not let you do that?
There it goes. It worked now. I can see it's highlighted. Okay. So now we're going to play. This is from my buddy in, well, you hear his accent.
Yeah, I want to hear this. What is it about?
This is in regards to the Bitcoin show the other day. He is in Hex. He likes Hex. He really enjoys Hex. He continues to buy more Hex, but he also really enjoys just crypto, right? He keeps his mind open to understand what's going on. And so he had some thoughts in regards to our show the other day that I think would just give more perspective around this. So it's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We're going to listen to this and talk about it.
And Jim Rat. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it, especially what some of the things that Ray Dalio says. Just one thing on about 15 minutes. I'm just working my way through it just right now, and maybe it gets corrected later in the show. But Jim Rat said, things like, you can't do much with Bitcoin and blah, 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 and this and that. And nobody's working on that yet, as a medium of exchange or to get yield and all these other cool sort of funky features, which that isn't correct information. But I think it's just because he's not aware of it. We're well aware of RSK. I don't know if he is. There's also something called Zest Finance, where you can now get yield in Bitcoin. It's a smart contract, though, so there is smart contract risk with that. I don't know how the yield is generated. I kind of looked at it, but then looked away from it because I didn't want to put my Bitcoin in a smart contract and take the smart contract risk. But it's another big product that's been launched called Zest Finance. There's also Liquid. which is another huge project, building all kinds of features on Bitcoin. There's Lightning, and there's another thing called Stacks, which is a huge project, which is about NFTs on Bitcoin. That's STX coin. That's a big, big project, been doing very well over the last few years. So there's a lot of development happening in different contexts on Bitcoin, right? Lightning for the scalability, RSK for the DeFi features. And I think there's another project which is also doing DeFi on Bitcoin as well. Now, whether they'll materialize, I'm not saying whether that will or not, who's to know? I think it's going to be very, very slow progress. But there's certainly quite a lot of work being done on Bitcoin, building other layers, things on Bitcoin, right? Certainly not on the Bitcoin layer itself, but there's lots of other projects building around Bitcoin to, as part of the Bitcoin ecosystem, if you like. So I just wanted to correct Jim right on that, because he said, that there's almost nobody doing anything else on it, where there actually is quite a lot of development happening. It's slow, yes. Will it materialize? Who knows? But I just wanted to call him out on that one. But yeah, I'm just working away through it at the moment. I like it.
So there we go. So that's interesting, right? There's things that I don't know about. That's why I'm like, oh, cool. Hey, thanks, bro. Because remember, I was like, hey, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, and that just made me think I'm just gonna take notes on like development on Bitcoin for the next that's all. Now I'm like, I got to double check, right? I got to triple check, and I'll check 100 more times probably, but it's about non-bias understanding. Like if you're adding everything to your non-bias list, there's no negative there. It's all positive information because you're just framing everything positively. When I got hacked, I framed it positively, and it made my life better.
Yes.
Everything. It's just everything. You just do. Everyone's like, how did you wake up the next day and just go on with it? And I was like, to be honest, I slept like a fuck. Like I like the stress. I like emotion. I don't get enough of it. I'm not allowed to fight people. I'm not allowed to freaking do stuff that other guys did back in the day. I'm an aggressive dude. I'm a normal dude. But I get it out with freedom and sovereignty because that's what's important right now. Like
we appear to be diverging in crypto from Ethereum, where you have a base layer and things are built on top of it, and then Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin, and you build around it. One is built on top of it. The other one is built around it. This is going to be interesting, right? Because you have a lot of dynamics like this, where one might be more secure and more flexible, right? You have Windows, you have iOS, and you have Linux, right? One of those is more flexible than the other one in terms of what you can do, but there's also security and other things available that might not have all the features in the same way that it is in terms of simple user interface, but one could be far more secure. And in this case, I don't think anybody could really argue that Bitcoin is, not as secure or not more secure.
It's not a security, first of all. I think the biggest part of, to be frank, if I'm just talking about my notes and what I study and what I look at, Ethereum's a flipping security. I'm sorry. And I'm just saying it from what I've read and learned and studied. But there is nothing more blatant that there's proof. If you're talking about the Howey test in Ethereum, come on. The nodes aren't even, they break every rule.
Oh, cool. Also, just a couple other projects, which I find it interesting. I don't think this, we can do this tomorrow or something.
I don't know why I went on that hint.
HiveMind, actually not HiveMind, Hive Mapper. So if you're not familiar with that project,
that's from HNT.
It's similar to HNT, right? Which is the Helium. Helium is the miners at your house for data. Well, Hive Mapper is creating a decentralized map like Google's, but it's decentralized. So if you want to use Google's information, if you want to use Google search maps, or you want to use Google's API for that, right, there's a license you have to use for it. This is a decentralized.
Are you saying that if I wanted that information onto a website, I could obtain that information? So I know how I've looked at Hive Mappers for pineapples for mining before, but is Hive Mapper just a term for like what is Hive Mapper one thing, or is it like a software thing that can pick up the UI for Google?
Well, so that I think to understand this, you get an idea if you understand Helium. So Helium, you put a miner in your house that transmits data, right? And it's a decentralized ISP. You don't know what an ISP is? Think Verizon, think AT&T, right? So you're creating a decentralized network that nobody control, nobody can take down. This is a decentralized map where they have specific 4K cameras that are attached to cars and de-anonymized so that they're not tracking like your information. And we, the people, create the map for the future. This map is, think about how much money it costs to update a map. You have to pay.
So this is new.
Yes, this just launched recently.
So, okay, so hold on. I just wanted, for my own understanding. So I've used this Hive Mapper or something of this to look at pineapple nodes that were in every city, right? At every little square, it would show you. But Sam's saying they're coming out with a product that you can put on a vehicle, and that will enhance this UI just dramatically, I'm sure, right?
It's already out. There's already third party.
It's already going.
And think of the third party product as the miner, right? So if you have a job of delivery, if you drive Uber, if you're in your car all the time for work, you can get this and you can earn crypto by putting this on your car and helping this, right? Create a decentralized map. This
You're
is
just running a node in your car.
Basically, and it's the camera mapping everything. This
the camera actually, the visuals on the camera actually come into play here. It's not just GPS.
Correct.
But like this camera.
Correct.
It's crazy.
But it's not tracking you as in a GRC. It's mapping everything. Right. And like this is incredible. It launched, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
See how those guys are doing it on YouTube now? They're coming out and they're saying, okay, something happened on this street. Then they're clicking on the street and it comes up with every camera that was in that area at the time. And they can kind of like see every little situation within that.
You know how when you use Google Maps, right? And then shit's not updated and there's construction or there's this, that, and everything. Now imagine a fleet of 6 million people globally that have these on their bikes, have these on their scooters, have these on their cars. And the map of the world is collectively updated with the 60 million people that are just driving, doing their thing every day, and they're automatically updating the map. So you don't have to have one centralized entity that controls the map. You have a decentralized map of the entire planet that is updated in real time.
Yes. And I live right on a corner, so nothing bad can happen to me because there's cameras everywhere. You just have to be on a suicide mission to do anything, like to go to prison for your life. What do you think about this comment right here, Sam? Read it.
AI integration with blockchain will be crucial. AI will allow us to scale. Blockchain will keep a permanent record for all user transactions. I'm not sure how AI will be implemented into blockchain. I think
I'll be the first guy to fucking discover that.
It's going to be people who you're going to use it for trading and to try to make money.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. But also, the way I see AI being implemented in regards to blockchain, I don't know about scaling, but as far as like audits, I see AI taking over that stuff.
And think of it for tax purposes, right?
Yep.
Hey, how many you put in? If it was a way where people couldn't track it, right? And it was me. I could be like, okay, I need these addresses. Where are all my transactions? Where are all the things that these transactions have done in terms of cost basis and all that shit? If it was an AI had done that for you, boom, everybody could use that, right? And you can get all the transaction costs, your cost basis on stuff, any tax losses, any capital gains, all that stuff, just by putting your address into this thing, right? And having that be decentralized would be dope.
Code audits definitely going to be taken over by AI eventually.
Yeah,
You're muted, G.
I got a guy that owns an AI company. I don't want to spill his beans all over here, but I want you and Bullish, if you don't mind, at some point to look it up and see if there's any because I can talk to this dude about anything.
But, I'm familiar with the company you're talking about.
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know what they do. I would like to know what they do. So if you could tell you guys, because I will be learning. Oh God, you have no idea. I'm going to be one of the at least 2 shows a week on AI, but it's going to be all very detailed in like me learning.
The We were having a conversation before, and then we'll wrap things up. This is a little bit of a tangent, right? We were having a conversation before we all went live, and Chat GPT is something that went live from OpenAI 7-8 days ago. I signed up maybe 4 days ago. It is a tool that I literally have been using every single day, multiple times a day since I signed up for it. That has made my life better. Awesome. Highly
Does it cost any?
What's that? No, it's free. 100% free.
It's free.
And so it's just a snap.
How you can think about this AI is if you were to talk to a professional about a peptide or about your toe fungus or about this specific topic, right? And you talk to a professional, and the professional's like, yeah, well, this thing, and you're like, well, can you explain that a little bit simpler in less formal language? And then they come back and they explain it in a much simpler way to do that. That's just AI. It's like Google, but on steroids.
AI was made for gym rats. Understand this stuff is perfect for rats because I just no formal education, never wrote papers, never. And when I say no formal education, I did not participate in my education at all, and I never did anything. I managed to get out of high school, but just understand, I went street smarts and just learning people ever since then. I never went back. So one of the biggest things that I come up with now is like I got all these beautiful ideas, but I have to articulate it in such a way that everyone else can read it, which is just a problem. I don't think it's always the best use of my energy. But now I can get all my beautiful ideas out on paper and then adjust and think and change them and see what good verbiage looks like and see what good communication skills look like while I actually am being productive about something.
GRC, so something you can use it for the show. You can literally pull up the Chat GPT and you can put in, give me 10 clickbaity, cheeky title ideas for a video on crypto. Boom, 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 boom. You have 10 ideas for titles for a crypto video. And you can just take them and make them and change them.
And I already know how to do AI art, like for real. Like I've done it like for 4 or 5 hours.
It's pretty much the same thing. Like
it's just
master,
like I get it. Like
yeah,
I get
like
I kind of get it.
2 points to make as far as like use. So like another way you can use it, and someone recently tweeted out about it, is if you're like a developer already, right? You can use this tool to pretty much speed up your development time by like 50% by literally having ChatGPT spit out some of the basic codes that are tedious, and then just copy and pasting that, and modifying and editing and adding whatever features you want. So there's a lot of ways it can be used.
I told you guys earlier that like I fired the guy who was writing articles for me because this tool is free and I can do it in 20 minutes and have an article that is 4 times longer with more detail in it than the way he was writing articles for me, and it's free. Like this is I'm gonna send an email out to my list this afternoon for a new product we just launched, right? And as I do this, I'm going to actually have ChatGPT write the copy for my email, use that, update it potentially, and then use that to actually send the email. This thing is incredible, especially if you're a knowledge worker, in terms of like basically sitting at a computer making money with your fucking mind instead of
and the future of all this AI stuff, whether it's images or chat or whatever the case is mastering how to write prompts. If you can master how to write prompts, you will get that thing to do pretty much whatever you want.
And the cool part about some of the AI generated stuff is if you just go, especially on the art, like you can just click on any of the art and it'll show you the prompt. And then you can take the pieces, like you have to get a little fluid with the prompts. So you have to understand like there's certain words, you got to understand the verbiage with the prompts and like how you
can you walk me through that? Because I
do it live with you. Everyone asked me to get you on that, like 112 people at the time. I will do that at any time today. It'll take 40 minutes. You'll be done.
Can we do that? Because I think that I could use that. Can you use it to create memes and whatnot? And
yeah, you can use it.
Facebook posts.
What you need to do is just like do what I did, like the beginner's course, and then you'll answer all your questions. It's like that simple. Like you just need to do it, and you're like, okay, I see, because it puts every algorithm. So there's different algorithms. There's like 15 of them, And you start playing around with them, right? And you got to see, then you go to what other people use, and then you look at their pictures, and then you see kind of what words and what verbiage you like. I like dark, death, stab, murder, all of that stuff. So all my stuff is very dark, like one guy by himself, like everyone's gone, and apocalyptic. That's how I like to imagine things when I'm just like a little kid, like pretending. And it all came out like that, but you learn those algorithms. It tells you which one's which, and then you get a little bit of a time under tension with those kind of little. That it's so funny though, because Jack would like to do this. Jack walked me through it, and he was asking me yesterday. He's like, "Publish some of your art. Maybe we can do a little AI, because his art is cool, and he knows all the prompts, everything, because he's been doing it for like a week now. So I'm sure he's pretty locked in."
Hey, if you have time this afternoon for 30.
Yes, I have time this afternoon. You stay right there and just keep your phone on good to go. And I promise you, I want to do a great extra. I want to change the show a little bit when we can, because these topics, Sam, are critical. I'm telling you, I can see it. I can feel it. I can see the people interacting, profile pictures on Instagram, TikToks, AI art. I don't really care about the specifics there. I want to know the dirty details so I can be in a position where the first principles, you got to understand the whole thing. You know what I mean? And this has been.
I'm thinking I could take that to use that just for my business. Bullish already does AI.
Just do everything. You can just do everything. It's just like we just got to learn all this shit and be the best at it.
Yeah, I've been using AI and making money off of AI like way before this Chat GPT crap.
Right. And that's why, guys, it's the gym rats time. Like, yes, of course, the cyberpunks got in, but now this is accessible to everyone. And when I say that, it always kind of was, but now it's being marketed and it's being heavily used. And it's being like guys like me who have had a computer for 2 years are like checking out algorithms for AI art, open to everyone. Human consciousness hiving.
Pretty crazy, right? Like,
yeah, even as a learning tool. Even as a learning tool, like I prefer, like right now, I prefer Chat GPT to get answers versus Google. Like, you know how you usually go to Google and you're like, what is whatever? Do that in Chat GPT and the results are so much better.
It's funny you mentioned that. So anybody who is listening to this conversation right now and you watch the show, I would normally do what Bullish just said. When we're talking about a topic and there's something that we could provide more clarity on or context on, what I do is this is a big monitor. I have another tab open over here, and I just fucking Google that shit. And then I try to paraphrase that to you guys in a way that provides value. And I have switched from doing that every show. I've used it multiple times in today's show, Chat GPT, to talk about a specific thing and paraphrase it. It is 20x better than, or 100x better than fucking Google at getting information.
You don't have to go click on like 5 different links and waste 20 minutes to try to figure out. It's like, it just brings it all to you, summarizes, and you're like, oh, this is amazing.
It's so much faster.
Yeah.
And you can rent the fastest GPUs for $0.
And depending what you're asking it, it'll give you examples. It's crazy. It's like,
dude. Okay. So
the problem is the time that it takes to do it too. And there's resources for all that shit, easy shit. Like it's just easy.
But so many people are gonna get so left behind.
Yeah,
they're not gonna.
I know, bro. It's too much info. It's all happening at once.
This is also going to change education. It's also going to change education in a big way.
Thank God, Sam needs to do something about education.
It's like, for example, like professors, and we'll wrap up soon because I know we're going on a tangent, but like professors, like how are they going to grade papers and know that it's original?
And I'm sure there'll be tools out there, but again, it's pointless. What's the fucking point of writing a paper when you can get something like this that does it 99.9% of human beings, 99.99999% of human beings would never be able to tell the difference, and it's accurate information.
And in the green screen, I told you, right? Like how I'm using it today, right? If let's say I'm still in school and I have to give a paper to a professor, I would run it through ChatGPT and then run it through Quillbot. You know what I mean? To make sure there's no plagiarism, and then hand that paper in. I just run it through 2 AIs. What is he gonna know?
Yeah, bro, this is all. I'm excited. I'm excited. If you guys are excited about this, let us know in Twitter. All of our links are down below in the chat. Jump over to Twitter, say what's up. Try to create some art. Later this afternoon, we're going to be on again, and I'm sure that we'll.
Yeah, just give me a 2-hour window, Sam, please.
Yes, I got that call with the doctor today about the thing, and I got another call in a few minutes. So I've got those things, and then just working on the house.
Yeah, so I'll hit you up on that, guys. Richard just tweeted, guys, debates are stupid. Conversations are all that's needed. And I said, come on, Crypto in the Morning with Sam Stoll. I would love to have a conversation, or I pre-recorded if that's easier for you. Guys, you know I'm dropping that link in the chat. Spam it, fam. Spam it. You hear me? Spam it. He says he wants conversation. Okay. I want conversation too. That would be fantastic. Seriously though, I like Richard. Like I'm not the biggest Richard hater. Like I'm just like to critically think and poke around. It's fun. So there's that. And then I also, guys, did a tweet about suggestions for the show. So if you have any suggestions for the show, I just tweeted out, what suggestions does the DeFi fam have for Crypto in the Morning? Damn it, I fucking worded that wrong. Never mind, that one's gone. Love you guys so much. Crypto in the Morning, live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. I love you guys. It's been a wild ride. It's just getting, boy, the water is not even lukewarm yet, baby. I am excited. I hope there's volatility. I hope there's extreme stress. I hope there's all of the fun stuff that makes bull markets great, because that's what's happening now, Sam. And as Sam said, everyone's going to get left behind. And all that rang in my head is that's a bull market. That's a bull market. Like that is innovation. That is changing. And at some point, right, like it's going to really tear. And then the US dollar starts doing the Crypto in the Morning live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to try to get on with Jack and Sam and do a AI art demo, but I will also just do it with Sam if he's not available today. And I guarantee it's going to be a blast. It is really fun. It's like, and I love a reason to do it. So making a show out of it even better. And we could do some clips on that too. So Crypto in the Morning every single day, DeFi Proof, the official rapper. If you're not smashing the like button, you better hide your girlfriend.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way.